Thank you, Ryan. For many people, big-name beer brands just don't cut it anymore. Nowadays, more beer lovers are turning to craft breweries for a drink that's not only full of flavor, but also locally made. I recently stopped by a Connecticut brewery to see what all the fuss is about. What's your choice of drink?
Beer every time.
I like to drink beer mostly.
There's nothing better than ending the day with a cold beer or two.
Whether you prefer an ale or a stout, nowadays you don't have to travel far to find your brew of choice. That's because there are more than 4,000 breweries here in the U.S., and the Connecticut Beer Trail lists 33 breweries right here in the Nutmeg State.
I like to choose local beer.
Typically, some sort of locally sourced craft beer would be my preferable beer. Yeah.
Get this. Breweries are so popular here in the U.S. that the average American lives within 10 miles of one. And if you're from Wolcott, you may have heard of this one.
Shebeen, it's Irish or Gaelic for like a speakeasy underground bar.
Here, the beer is always flowing, and they offer some pretty unique flavors.
At Brewery, cannoli is definitely one of our more popular beers.
So the cannoli beer is a spice ale. It has cinnamon, nutmeg, and vanilla in it.
Served with powdered sugar on the rim and chocolate on top, the cannoli beer is almost more like a dessert than a drink.
You kind of want to be a little messy. I've had a powdered mustache more times than I can count from that thing, but it's delicious, so why not?
Also on the tap list at Shebeen, a pineapple wheat made with real crushed pineapple, and Java Pig, brewed with coffee beans and bacon sourced from small businesses right here in Connecticut.
Obviously, we're a local small business ourselves, so we definitely want to be able to give back to the community by supporting other local businesses.
Here at Shebeen, a lot of hard work goes into making each beer. Step 1, mashing.
This is malted milled barley. This is where the sugar that the yeast will eat in the beer comes from.
Barley is soaked in hot water for about an hour to release its sugars. Once that's done, the water is then drained and hops are added.
Depending on when you put them in the boil, they either add bitterness or flavor and aroma to the beer.
After being boiled, the mixture is then run through this device to be chilled. Next, it's put into a vat along with yeast, which ferments the mixture into beer. Lastly, carbonation is added.
So from when I walk in the door to when I leave on a day of making beer is like 8 to 10 hours.
But for head brewer Matthew Belmare, the hard work is definitely worth it. He says when it comes to beer, there's good reason to go local.
When you just buy a macro lager, you're not getting a lot of flavor, and it's kind of made bland on purpose to appeal to everyone, where smaller local breweries can make interesting flavors. Plus, it's feeding back into your local economy, so you're supporting someone who lives in the next town over.
So the next time you go grab a cold one, consider grabbing one made just around the corner. All right, Ashley, I think after all that hard work today, we deserve a beer. What do you say?
Absolutely.
Sláinte.
Sláinte.
For CT Style, I'm Megan Yost.